Ah, hey, Pop Kids. This month, we're talking about what it means to be driven by integrity. Remember, integrity is choosing to be truthful in whatever you say and do. And Jesus actually talked about integrity and what it means to live each day in a truthful way. While Jesus was here on earth, he traveled from town to town with a group of followers who he chose to help him in his work. Jesus spent time teaching people about God and healing people who were sick. In everything Jesus said and did, he showed people what God is like, since he is God. Over and over, Jesus pointed out that what's on the inside of a person is what matters most to God. And one day, when Jesus came down from a mountain with his disciples, a big crowd gathered. And this wasn't surprising, since people had heard all about Jesus and the things he had done. The people came to be healed and hear for themselves what Jesus had to say. Would you believe that Jesus told the people about trees? It's true. Jesus talked about good trees, and he talked about bad trees. And here's what Jesus said. A good tree doesn't bear bad fruit, and a bad tree doesn't bear good fruit. You can tell each tree by the kind of fruit it bears. People do not pick figs from thorns, and they don't pick grapes from bushes. Now, everyone listening would have understood exactly what Jesus meant. A healthy tree produces good fruit, but a tree that's sick or rotten won't produce good fruit. Good fruit comes from a good tree. Of course, Jesus wasn't talking about trees. What do you think Jesus was really talking about here? Or should I say, who was Jesus really talking about here? He was talking about people. And Jesus went on to say this: a good man says good things. These come from the good that is stored up in his heart, and an evil man says evil things. These come from the evil that is stored up in his heart. A person's mouth says everything that is in their heart. Okay, so Jesus was saying that who we are on the inside will always show up on the outside. It's just like with the healthy tree and the sick tree. A good tree produces good fruit. If we stay connected to Jesus, then good things will come out of us with the things we do and say and the way we treat other people. The opposite is also true. If we're not healthy on the inside and we're not connected to Jesus, then unfortunately bad things will come out. We'll say things we don't mean, we'll lose our temper, we'll hurt people around us with our words and actions. What is inside of us always comes out, good or bad. There was another time when Jesus talked about integrity in a similar way. This happened on the night before Jesus was about to be arrested and give up his life. He wanted to prepare his friends for what was coming and help them understand how they could continue to do his work even after he was no longer with them. Listen to what Jesus said to them. I am the vine, you are the branches. If you remain joined to me and I to you, you will bear a lot of fruit. You can't do anything without me. Remember, good fruit comes from a good tree. And this is how we live with integrity. This is how we live in a truthful way. We need to stay connected to Jesus. You see, when we learn more about Jesus at home and at church, and when we read about him in the Bible, and when we spend time talking with him in prayer, things start to change inside us. Over time, we become like the good branches on a good tree. And that means our lives will be full of good things that we show on the outside. Just like a good tree produces good fruit. We'll treat others with kindness. We'll look for ways to help others. We'll find ourselves being more truthful in whatever we say and do. Remember what Jesus said. He is the vine. We are the branches. If we stay connected to Him, He will help us produce good fruit. He will help us live a life of love and kindness and treat others the way we want to be treated. If we follow Jesus, He will help us to be truthful in whatever we say and do. A relationship with Jesus on the inside will show up on the outside in the way we live each day. Now, does that mean we're perfect? Does that mean we'll always get it right? No way. We're human, which means sometimes we might mess up. We might say something that isn't 100% truthful. We might do or say something hurtful to someone because we feel angry or frustrated. Everybody messes up from time to time. But remember, if we want to live with integrity, we need to stay connected with Jesus. We know that Jesus will be there to help us live in a truthful way so that who we are on the inside will match who we are on the outside. And that's how we want you to be and live, Pop Kids, as the person God is growing to produce pretty good fruit. Here's a challenge as we learn to live with integrity. Be truthful with your whole life. Pretty good apple. Good fruit.